I'm art teacher here with you again. Today continuing with perspective drawing, doing 3-point perspective. Kind of moving on to 3-point perspective. Be sure to do the subscribes, the likes, the favorites, and leave a comment if I'm unclear about anything right down there. And I've been good about answering those, so I will answer your comments or questions. Now, let's get right to it. Today, what I want to do, you need paper, I do it vertically, up and down way. So get a paper, you're going to need a paper, a ruler, and a pencil. And you're going to start with putting the paper vertically, putting 2 dots more toward the bottom, and then 1 toward the top. Here's the concept behind 3-point perspective. You're going to make the vertical lines focus in on a top vanishing point. So that if you're standing in front of a building, a tall building, and you look up, it looks like the 2 sides are getting closer together while they're focusing on that top vanishing point of the 3. Now, so it would be one of those buildings like a glass curtain building or a skyscraper or something, and something you could look up for that would be Bauhaus. That's an German art and architecture movement, and an architect named Walter Gropius. And this movement and that architect had a big influence on those types of buildings. So for anyone who wants to encourage their son or daughter to go more into that, those would be areas of research you could look at that would be, I think, of great interest. You know, this is an important art movement that it really influenced art and design, you know, in every aspect of contemporary life. Anyway, let's move on from there. And I'm going to start just with the center line. So up here I have an arrow pointing to my top vanishing point. And I'm going to make this come straight down below the level of the horizon line, or below the level of the vanishing points. Then I'm going to put a dot up here. That's going to be the top of the building. And here's a dot for the bottom of the building. And I'm going to connect those 2 dots back to the vanishing points. And I say it like that so everybody gets it in their mind, the word vanishing point. It's really an important part of this type of art. Perspective drawing is pretty much based on this vanishing point idea. Anyway, top and bottom going back to the vanishing points. And there it goes. So that's the guidelines in the center line. I'm going to erase that little part of the center line, and this is going to be right here where this dot is, the top of the building. And now I want to make the end lines of the building, so I'll put at kind of random points, 2, about halfway in, 2 dots on one on either side. And those are going to go up to this tippy top one with the arrow pointing to it. Not this one. If you make it go to this dot, that's not going to be, oh, wrong. Make it go to the one way up there, the tippy top one. Be sure that's what's happening. And there's 1. And on the other side, line it up nicely. Sometimes I'm not focusing it toward the vanishing point exactly right, like right there. I made a little mistake. That's okay. I'll just do it again. There it goes. Now I can get rid of these little guideline parts. And already you can start to see, once I start getting rid of some of these guidelines, you can begin to see it's looking like a large monolithic structure, kind of like a skyscraper. You get the feel for it, but I need to add the windows to really get that feeling of that kind of building. So I'll put my dots for the windows a little closer together at the top. I'm not measuring exactly on this, no precise measurements. So I'm estimating, you know, a little closer together toward the top. And as it comes down more, they get a little further apart. And down here toward the bottom, I might even put a door. Now I have all these dots need to be connected to the vanishing points on both sides. Let me get right to that. So there's the vanishing point, there's the dot. And I don't need to draw that line all the way over. I can just part, that's going to be important to me. But I have to make sure one end of the ruler is touching that vanishing point. That's going to be real important. Uh-oh. There we go. And there's that final one. And now over here, same type of thing. So, get that? How that ruler is aligned? Get that? How that ruler is aligned? One end on the vanishing point, one end on the dot. Make the line. One end on the vanishing point, one end on the dot. Make the line. One end on the vanishing point, one end on the dot. Make the line. One end on the vanishing point, one end on the dot. Again, keep making those lines. Oh, forgot that one. Let's get that last one. You can go back and fix things. There. Then trim that edge right down. Boom. 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 Trim that little edge now. To make the sides of the windows, put a few dots along the bottom on either side. I'm just going to free there. And now I'm ready to do what would be vertical lines. But instead, in this case, because it's 3-point perspective, these are lines that go to that top vanishing point. So let me start doing some of those. Put one end of the ruler on the top vanishing point. Not this one, with the tippy top. So, and there's one row of windows. Line it up here and up there. And there's another row of windows. And line it up to put that bottom one to the top. There's another row of windows. Line it up from here to the top one. There's one row of windows. Line it up again. There's another one. And of course, here's that last one. So those are, that's like you're standing here looking up at the top of the building. And the two sides look like they're getting closer and closer together. I'll just put a little door down here to make it interesting. There, lines going back to this vanishing point. Then my verticals, instead of being vertical, go to the top vanishing point. So, here's one, two. There's some verticals. That would be like, actually that middle one should be closer. There's a couple, 3 verticals. You know, these are the doors here that you would go in. And you could put something similar on this side as well. Now here's a quick thing to keep in mind. You saw the video, hopefully, where I'm getting creative with 2-point perspective. You can do the same type of thing with 3-point perspective. You can do buildings all down this road. You can make a road coming through this way, maybe a bench on the sidewalk, maybe a sidewalk, and have all the verticals. The concept is all the verticals will focus on that top vanishing point. So it's the same idea as 2-point perspective, but instead of making the verticals go straight up and down, you make them focus toward that vanishing point. So you can draw pretty much anything that you would do in 2-point perspective, but just keep in mind that your verticals focus in on the top vanishing point. I sure hope you got something out of that, and if you're dealing with, say you're helping a son or daughter who's in, they'd say, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th grade, maybe look up these concepts as just a little extra enrichment to that lesson. You take care now. I hope you're getting something out of these. Bye.